Saturday mornings, Saturday afternoons. It's 12:07 here on the East Coast. Saturday afternoons are for the racers. Simulated racers is pretty much what we've got right now with all the COVID-19, the coronavirus nonsense going on right now. Unfortunately, really nobody across the globe is racing right now. That's where iRacing steps in. That's where Vidane TV steps in. And it's our goal here at Vidane TV to hashtag entertain the masses. Welcome, everyone, to another episode here on Vidane TV, here with the Canadian Karting News series at Laguna Seca out here in California. Doing a little bit of left-hand turns, doing a little bit of right-hand turns. Some guys may not turn at all and smash into the wall. Seen it happen a couple of times in practice here so far this morning. These guys have been putting on a great show so far. We were here live last weekend, last Saturday and Sunday. Saw some great road racing here, making the road racing debut last weekend on Vidane TV, so that was very cool. And as always, I am Showtime Paul Strickland Jr. I'm up here in the broadcast booth with my brother from another mother. Easy enough for me to say. It's almost a mouthful now. Rowdy Wesley Hogue. Rowdy, what's going on, man?
Man, it's 12 o'clock here in the East Coast, but there in California, it's still bright and early in the morning at 9 o'clock. But we're ready to go green flag racing here with the Kia Optimas at Laguna Seca. We've seen a couple of those. We see the Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, if I'm going to call it right, I might as well. That's what they're calling it now. And we are here with the Karters iRacing series. We called their Miata race last week at Silverstone, and they put on a heck of a show. So these guys run some pretty interesting cars on some pretty interesting tracks, and they put on a great show for us. So ones to watch for here, Paul, as they're going to get ready for their standing start, which we've always found to be interesting since we are oval guys who don't see that much. Is Patrick Woods Toth. He's starting pole here. We usually see him running up front. Next is going to be Curtis Fox in that Oreos machine, that number 10. The Canadian Dry machine there will be Logan Passa, and then Samuel Lupien will be rounding them out here. So that will be your top four for now. And then Rafael Forcier will actually be lining up fourth. He did not line up until now on the grid, so now we're able to see him. So in that pinkish ride, I guess we can call that pink. So should be ready to rock and roll.
Yeah, getting ready for heat race number one. We're going to be running 2 heat races here. I believe everybody's going to make the show. This is essentially a little bit of a last-minute practice. You can kind of feel out the car. Everybody's running the same setup. Everybody's got the same, almost identical car. They're able to change the steering ratios for driver comfort. So you can hear those motor getting wound up here, getting ready for the start. Green flag in the air, and like you said, standing start. Everybody going to jam on through the gears, heading up the hill, down into turn number 1.
This is a pretty cool track. It's very well known in the world of road course racing and road racing. You see Le Mans drivers here. I think you've seen Indy cars race here before, Champ cars, the whole 9 yards here at Laguna Seca. So it's one of the more known tracks, as what we got going on here is going to be the first heat race of 2. You're going to have 6 laps or 10 minutes. That's the way it will be. Then our feature will be 15 laps or 20 minutes. Typically, it's the minutes before the lap. So, but up front, Patrick Woods Toth leads the way.
Commanding lead so far. You can see right now the battle's going to be for third and fourth. See the 16 in that pink 1 car that you were talking about earlier on. Back and forth, kind of not quite beating and banging just yet. Looks like they think better of it. See the Canadian Dry there car hits the dirt, kind of gives himself a little bit of a wiggle as they head up through the S's.
Listening to these little 4-bangers just pick up the speed and downshift and turning left and right. It's pretty cool to see, especially coming from oval guys, where majority of the races that we call is oval racing. So it's pretty cool to see these guys wheel it around here. And as we're getting to the conclusion of lap 1, as Patrick Woods Toth takes that final left-hand corner, I'm going to see kind of a lap time that the guys are running, and as we come on, and that's a minute 34 there. So with that being our opening lap, the second lap will be a bit quicker. So turning lap times at that, I think it was a minute 28 they ran in qualifying. So within 10 minutes, I'm guessing they're going to get a good 7 or 8 laps in, I would say, Paul.
Yeah, most definitely. And you can actually see we're taking a look at our scoring, timing, and scoring here, which we will have available for you very, very soon. That's something we're working on with TV, a little bit of a web page that'll show the lap times and everything like that. So we'll have that coming. Be sure to check that out soon. But second place, Curtis Fox, the number 10, 2 seconds slower than Patrick Woods Toth. He ran a minute 36 seconds, and you can actually see right now he's 3 seconds back on track from that first position.
All right, and of course, if you are watching on Twitch, if you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on YouTube, be sure to hit the like button. Be sure to hit that subscribe button as we call the action about 5 days a week now. We're calling racing multiple times a day. We're calling 2 different races today. We're calling 3 tomorrow.
4 tomorrow.
So 4 tomorrow. I'm sorry. So it's action packed here with Vidane TV, and we like being able to communicate with you. Text to us. Start chatting with us in the chats on YouTube and Twitch and all of that, and we will respond to you when we can. We like being able to communicate and interact with our viewers.
Most definitely taking a look right now at the upcoming events here this weekend. Karters iRacing Series, we're with them now. TCM Petty Raceway Series right after at 1 o'clock. Carter iRacing Series, we're back here tomorrow at noon. Then we jump in at 1 o'clock with the Hudson Speedway iRacers, followed up by another Tim's Corner Motorsports special event, and then the East Coast Winter League, the SK guys at Stafford Motor Speedway. So jam-packed weekend here. This is already our second race broadcast of the weekend. Ran an event last night with Tim's Corner Motorsports, and they put on a fantastic show. You can check that out in the archives on vidane.net/TV, or you can check out our YouTube page. And while you're there, give that subscribe button a little bit of a smashy smash. Always cool to see that we've got people that enjoy our product, and you know what? That's why we're doing it. We want to entertain the masses, and if you've got any kind of pointers for us or anything that you'd like to see on the broadcast, like Wes said, give us a shout. We'll listen to any piece of advice or criticism that you've got, and try and better our product, because that's kind of what we're all about. We want to be the best of the best, and not to steal anybody's tagline or anything like that. But we're not here to take part. We're here to take over. Single file pretty much all the way around the track. Patrick Woods has a very commanding lead. He's got a 2 car there. Looks like he gets loses the back end of that race car and gets sent on down into the marbles. And I can't tell if that's tire smoke or if that's motor damage. No, it looks like it's just dirt from underneath the car. Well, he gets it righted. He's going to lose a ton of positions. That was your third place driver actually coming down pit lane. So maybe he's going to get some damage repaired or get some tires put on that machine. So tough break for that. New third place car is going to be Rafael Forcier in that number 1 pink machine. Halfway through this first heat race, you can see right now the action right now is the 1 car looking at the Canada dry car, Logan Pexa in that second position. All these guys, these 2 guys are racing 6 to 7 seconds behind the leader, Patrick Woods Toth. Really putting on a clinic here in the first heat race of the afternoon.
Patrick Woods Toth, he's always the one that we see putting on a show here. He's always up in the top 3 typically, unless something happens. So it's good to see Patrick up front again as he comes down the downward S's. Probably the most iconic part of this track that leads you in to the further S's, that leads you into the final left-hand corner that will shoot you down the front stretch here. And you see him coming down the hill here, and should have 1 more corner here that will lead him down in. It's a hard braking left-hander. And that heads back down to the start-finish line there, Paul. And really, really big gap in between him and the car behind him as that Logan Pasca just comes around that corner. So a good few seconds. He's kind of in the catbird seat here, just taking his time.
Saturday afternoon drive for Patrick Woods Toth. We're actually riding on board with him right now. You can take a look. He's really just kind of, I don't even want to call it lazy driving. He's just very, very comfortable behind the wheel of this car. You can see he kind of slows right down, takes the corners nice and easy, and then as soon as he hits the straightaway, mashes down on that loud pedal. So fantastic car control for Patrick Woods Toth. Doing a great job, has an 8-second lead over Logan Paxa. There's the gap right there, almost a straightaway and a half. Patrick heads out of the corner right there, and Logan's back behind him. You'll see him in a nice wide-angle shot here. As he's coming into the corner, you can see that little white dot. That's our second-place car all the way back there.
Paul, this track, what's cool about this track, with it being over in California, is just the scenery. The scenery around the track is gorgeous. Both sides of the track, you mainly just got sand. So we see a lot of road courses where you have an asphalt runoff. At Laguna Seca, you don't have that. If you screw up, you're going to be at the beach. You're not going to have much option. So it leaves very little room for mistakes.
Do they have beaches in Canada?
In Canada, I think they have beaches in Canada. I think. I know they got bacon.
It's Canadian bacon, which I think it's just ham. But I digress. Heading on down into turn number 1 for the last time in this heat race. Patrick Woods taking his time. Still has a 5-6 second lead over Logan Pox. Backed up just a little bit. You can actually see now in the bottom left of your screen, we got the producers, that would be me, to push the right button and get that track map up there so you can see exactly where these drivers are on track. And right now you're looking at the green dot. The green dot's going to be the leader, and we're looking at the leader right now, so he's got no comparison. But we'll take a quick look at the 16, and you'll see he'll pop right up on that map as well in that purple dot, purplish pinkish dot. Kind of gives you an idea where the leader is in compared to the car that we're looking at.
I like track maps, Paul. They let me know where I'm at.
Sometimes they're wrong. Just kind of going through the top 5 right now. Patrick Woods is your commanding leader. Logan Pox is second. Rafael Forcier is third. And take a look back at the number 10 car running fourth, Curtis Fox. And right behind him is the number 15 car. And driver of the number 15, I'm sorry, brother, but I am not going to try and pronounce that name. There's a lot of syllables in there. But none down in the downward S's here for the last time
Paul,
again in
we're
this heat race.
We're gonna call him Greg, because I feel like all the Z's are silent. So Gregor Smolik. Let's go with that. Gregor Smolik.
Run it. I like it.
I feel like his parents just said, you know what? Let's screw up his teachers, and let's just throw random letters in the word Greg and see what happens.
Send it. But you saw it come back on your screen. The number 19, Patrick Woods, top cross the line, checkered flag in the air, wins the heat race. Going to be starting P1 here in the feature, coming up here in a few minutes. Logan Pox in the 16, he finishes second. Rafael Forcier third. Curtis Fox fourth. And fifth place is going to go to Greg.
Greg works. If you're a viewer and you're watching this and you know how to say that name better, please help us out with the pronunciations. We're short track race fans. I'm from the South. He might as well be. If it doesn't spell Bud Light, we struggle with it.
Yeah, Bud Light, Busch Light, whatever you got. You know, it's the whole stereotypical American race fan thing where we spell words with numbers and all that. That's pretty much how we get down. But you can see Patrick Woods just kind of doing a little bit of a parade lap. He may very well be testing some things out that he didn't want to test out during the heat race, just to see where the car handles better.
Who the hell spells words with numbers?
NASCAR fans.
Oh, like 1, 2, Earnhardt, 4, 5. I got it.
Well,
okay.
Like 7, 7-time champ, so it'll be SE, the number 7, and then EN, or see now you put me on the spot, and I can't remember any of the other ones. It's infuriating though. It's like we're gonna race for the cup, and it'll be like C, trophy, and then a P, and it's like, what the hell is that?
And this jibber jabber brought to you by these awesome soft tacos that I'm eating from Taco Bell along with my Baja Blast. If you have a nearby Taco Bell, check them out along with a bathroom. All right, now our starting lineup as they get going is Andrew Waring. He's always up front. He gets a bad start, though. That leaves him side by side with Kenneth O'Keefe. And up the middle is Zachary Sherrier. He tries to take it 3 wide in that plain black Kia Optima, but the door gets shut as they head down into 1.
Cones flying all over the place. Drivers following right behind them. 2 wide for the lead. Both first and second place down in the beach. Takes out the 4th place car. Goes to the beach on the other side. Hard racing here. These guys are antsy. They want to go. They watched that first heat race and said, nah, that wasn't entertaining enough. We need to entertain the masses here on Verdane TV. Let's put on a show. And a show they will put on.
Kenneth O'Keefe is known to be running up front, but not this time. He gets sent around, and now he's going to have a long way to go when it comes to the feature.
He's got a weird wiggle to that car. It definitely looks like something is broken. It doesn't even look like he's able to drive straight. He looks like me after a couple of Bud Lights.
It's a Kia, Paul. They leave the distributor broken.
You can see he loops it around again there. Definitely looking at the track, Mike, you see another car is off track there too, down in the sand. Tough break for him. It's gonna be a long afternoon if you're driving around this track with a busted up Kia.
Kia.
Yeah, just riding on board with Kenneth O'Keefe right now, sawing on that wheel just to try and get it pointed straight. Definitely something broken on that car. I'm not sure if it's a flat tire or something snapped, tie rod end, anything. But definitely tough break for him. We're going to take a quick look at the leader, number 21, Andrew Waring. And looks like he actually just got past. There's a car in front of him. That's going to be, let's just wait as these drivers cross the line and get the updated scoring.
Oh, that's that's Sharir. Zachary Sharir, who was sitting in second place for a while there and able to bide his time around that Budweiser machine. However, Andrew's right there. He's not letting Zachary get away too quickly here. He wants that spot back.
Yeah, we're riding on board with Andrew Waring right now in the second spot. And you can see definitely hit something because that hood is crinkled up right in his line of sight. Still able to see the brake lights there on the number 24 of Zachary Shear, so that's good news there. All over the back bumper, trying to follow in his tire tracks, and again, try and figure out which way he can pass, left, right, or straight through him. You know, you definitely don't want to drive through somebody, but see, he's off the throttle just a little bit, kind of feathers it, thinks he's got a little bit of a run. He's going to try and shoot down on the inside, but gets cut off and bounces off those rumble strips, heads on up the hill here.
Paul, he was looking, but that door shut right at the last second, and he knew, all right, better back off and regroup. Andrew Waring is great here on these road courses, no matter what car they're in. As you see him come down the downhill S's, following up to the final S's, that's going to lead you into that final hard left-hander that will complete this lap. But Andrew Waring's got that car hooked up. He's not allowing Zachary Sharir to just walk away as they brake hard down into that corner and power right back off. In third place, Gavin Sanders, though, not far behind.
Everybody lined up single file, and this is such a cool racetrack, and you see it in a lot of different video games. And it's as you're looking at some of the downhill and the downhill S's, uphill S's, all that good stuff. It kind of clicks in some childhood memories of all the racing games that I used to play as a kid. And
Gran Turismo, Need for Speed, I think even had this in one.
Yeah, Need for Speed, and I think that's what I'm actually thinking about right now, because it was that one hard left-hand downward turn and heading down in the S's that I remember used to be the most fun thing to drive. But that was back when you didn't have to worry about building setups and anything like that, and the cars kind of drove like, well, they drove like blocks on top of ice, but I digress. Great battle here going on. Not quite a battle just yet. These three drivers just kind of biding their time, heading around the track, learning a little thing or two here for this afternoon's feature event. You can see right now the leader's going to be Zachary Shearer, followed by Andrew Waring, and Gavin Sanders is running third. Bumper to bumper to bumper right now, and you can see the fourth place car just barely able to make it into the screen at that point. We'll kind of take a look at him. That's going to be Daryl Timmers, rather.
Great battle still up front here, Paul, with Andrew Waring and Zachary Sharir. They're still nose to tail. Thought maybe when Zach got the lead with the clean air, he might be able to drive off, but it's hard to hit your marks when you're staring in your mirror all the time. So it's one of those things where it might be better off to shut off your mirror and look forward.
Most definitely. These guys are looking out the front as much as they're looking out the back, and right now we're looking out the front of the Gavin Sanders machine, currently running third, and he's got the best seat in the house to view that battle for the lead. You can see Andrews just really trying to look inside and outside, trying to find out where that 24 machine, where that leader is slower to try and... Oh, and he gets into the back of the 24 and loses the car just a bit. Gathers it back up, but that opens the door for Gavin Sanders. Is now side by side, door to door, heading on down the inside of Andrew Waring. Tough break for Andrew. Unfortunately, he loses that position. Just not even sure exactly what happened, but new second place car. It's going to be Gavin Sanders in the 25.
Andrew dove in a little hard in that left-hander, and he got underneath Zach, and he gave him a little bit of a bump, and he did the gentleman thing by just letting off and making sure Zach was able to correct it and get going. But doing so, there were consequences. That opened up the door for Gavin Sanders, who body slammed him there and to get around into that P2. But only a couple minutes left here in this race. And this is just a heat race, ladies and gentlemen. There's much more action to come in that feature, but you're getting a good idea of what your top three could look like later on in the feature as well as Patrick Woods-Toth, who we saw dominate that first heat.
Here you see him coming down through the downward S's here, coming around, taking that wide left turn, coming into a right-hander here. And man, oh man, the third place car, Andrew Waring, all over the back bumper of Gavin Sanders, trying to get that position back. At least let him know that he's there. And we'll get the updated timing and scoring as these drivers come down to the come down to the start finish line. No surprise, Zachary Shearer still has a commanding lead. He's got about 10-15 car lengths between him and second place. Now Gavin Sanders in that 25 ride. Andrew Waring all over the back bumper, running in third. You can see he's really trying to outbrake Gavin Sanders, and as he does that time and really gets a great pass heading on down through, able to complete the pass as they come out of the turn.
Textbook pass there, Paul. Saw the door open, he hooked it left, made a very clean pass from the start of the corner to the end, cleared him, and now he set sail back, hopefully to get onto the bumper of the leader, Zachary Shearer. But the time is running down here, Paul. Only 10 minutes or 6 laps. As we see, these guys are seeming to possibly get into that 6-lap mark. So great racing here.
Looks like we got about a lap and a half left to go if our scoring and timing is up to date. And look who's joining the party. Fourth place car, Daryl Timmers, turned on the afterburners, and he's really started to close up on these top 3 drivers. I don't think he's going to have enough time to... He may have enough time to get to the back bumper of the third place car of Andrew Waring, but I don't know if he's got enough time or wherewithal to get around him. But we'll definitely see as he's really starting to close up on these top 3 drivers.
Definitely a more action-packed heat race than the first heat race that we saw, where Patrick Woods-Toth just kind of dominated and everything got single file. But here we got 3 cars within a second of each other. Then Daryl Timmers just watching from a distance. And Andrew Waring's back onto the bumper now of the leader, Zachary Shearer. They got the white flag, 1 to go. Can Andrew get that spot before it's all said and done? Here into the hard-braking left-hander. This is where he got second place. He opens up the door here. This is where he gets the lead. Andrew Waring in the 21 Budweiser Kia Optima to the front.
Fantastic passing, and that's the time to do it. It's the last lap. You don't want to show your hand too early. And because we've seen that happen many times here in the short history of Dane TV. You don't want to show your hand too early, because then everybody knows what you're playing, knows exactly how strong you are, and they're going to try and better you either later on. But it looks like we've got a battle for second here. Taking a look door to door, coming out of that upward S, going to get ready to head on down the hill. Man, great racing in the second heat race.
All over the bumper of Zach Shearer, it's Gavin Sanders. That's opening up the door for Daryl Timmers. Your battle now is for second position. 3 cars within a couple tenths of each other as they head down the downward hill S's, side by side for second. He's able to look, he's able to get it. Gavin Sanders, and contact made. Zach Shearer, Gavin corrects Daryl. My, it is the Royal Rumble here in the last lap of this heat. These drivers cannot be happy. Man, oh man. That is not good, Paul, and Andrew Waring's got to be smirking. But like, yep, that's why I left y'all behind me. Your winner coming to the line, Andrew Waring. And Zachary Veneer into the wall.
Into the wall, into the pit road. He get a little bit of a shove there from Gavin Sanders. Dirty move, sending him down pit road. Don't know if that's going to be any kind of penalty, but Gavin Sanders is going to cross the line. Looks like third. Check that. Andrew Waring with the win. Zachary Shearer second. Colin Baxter, haven't heard from him. He's going to be fourth, and Daryl Timmers is going to end up rounding out the top 5.
Listening into the driver's radio here, just kind of getting an idea. I don't hear anybody absolutely flipping out yet, as I would have been if I'm Zachary Veneer and I got sent down pit road into the barriers, or maybe if I'm one of the other drivers that got wrecked out there, I'm not going to be happy. Gavin Sanders did apologize, though. He said he didn't hear it from his spotter, and he said out of nowhere he was on his front bumper. And I'm sure that was to Daryl Timmers, who he sent for a ride. So, man, what a race here, Paul. What a race. And now we're getting ready for the big feature.
Yeah, that was just a heat race. We're getting on down to the feature time, the main event of the afternoon. And these guys have 15 laps or 20 minutes. Basically, essentially, whatever comes out first. And we actually ended up having just enough time last weekend to get all of the laps in. So good news there. You can see they are on the board right now, getting lined up on the front stretch. I guess you can call that the front stretch, wherever the cars line up there. You can see Patrick Woods-Toth, the number 19.
The front stretch, Paul. Where else are they lining up? The landing strip?
I mean, maybe. You never know. Some of these guys they fly around in rocket ships.
Now, what's that song?
Rocket Man?
No, the kids show, Paul.
I don't watch kid shows.
Little Einstein. We're gonna take a trip in a little rocket ship. All right. Anyways,
And this aimless babbling is brought to you by Vidane TV. Hear those motors getting revved up. These guys are going to wait and wait and wait and wait. Green flag in the air, standing start. Jam on through the old gearbox and head up the hill. Getting ready to make that first left-hand turn. All these drivers have lined up. Looks like we got a teal car in the back.
big one, Paul. There's a big one in the back. Big one, Marcella Panilka, whatever. Brody Clark, who always seems to get into an accident, and Tim Hooton. Those are the three that suffered the worst there. If you want to grab a replay, the 31 involved really bad. The 6 involved as well as the 22. Man, oh man, they didn't waste any time to turn up the heat.
Yeah, right off the rip, and we'll pull it up here in the instant replay. Take a quick look at it in slow motion. There's no cautions here, it looks like. But you can see just rolling right off the start, some tire smoke out of that teal car, and that's going to be the one we're focusing on. And the driver that was inside of him just felt like he was ready to go and tried to shoot up, make it 3 wide, heading into the center spot, and 2 wide next to him as well. Those two drivers get collected into the wall and collect that teal 31 car, Brody Clark, easy enough for me to say, knocking down some cones and heading down in to the exit of pit road. So tough break for those guys. No caution yet, or no caution period. So these guys are going to be running through the race without any kind of cautions unless an admin throws that out. But we'll bring back the action live here, taking a look at the leaders. All
the action is heated up for second place of Andrew Waring. Him and Zachary Sharir have found each other again. Then you have Curtis Fox in the 10 machine. But up front, of course, is Patrick Woods-Toth, who has just checked out. But Curtis Fox in that 10 machine. Marco Felice in the 17, followed up by Gavin Sanders in the 25. Some names there from that last race that were no stranger to drama, finding each other around each other again. And not too far behind them is Daryl Timmers. So, there's a pass right there. Curtis Fox gets knocked out of the way by Marco Felice in the 17. So action all over this racetrack.
Side by side, 3 wide, all over the place, all the way through this field. Definitely great racing here so far. No surprise, Patrick Woods-Toth already has a 4-second lead on the second place Andrew Waring. So a lot of the names that we saw up front in the heat race, no surprise up front here in the feature event.
That's the way it seems, Paul, when you're doing these road course races. Some of these guys are just road course ringers, and they know what they're doing. It's like a Patrick Woods-Toth that just seems to be amazing out on these tracks, these road courses. Same thing with Gavin Sanders, Zachary Sharir, Daryl Timmers, guys you usually see up front. One name that you do normally see up front, but not in this race, is, I believe, I'm trying to see if Kenneth O'Keefe. Kenneth O'Keefe is one that typically runs up front. He's now in position 10, though, in that 5 car, just kind of baiting his time, but he didn't get a good heat race. He got wrecked early. Lap 1 in his heat race. So he didn't get the privilege of starting further up to the front. So he's trying to battle his way back on through.
Yeah, tough heat race for Kenneth O'Keefe in that 5 ride. Unfortunately, didn't get a good qualifying position for the feature and didn't really get the practice that these guys had. Yeah, he did have the practice session early on, but it wasn't under race conditions. A lot of guys just out doing hot laps during the practice sessions. So not really able to get any kind of racing experience this afternoon here at Laguna Seca, but it seems like it's showing right now. Still in a commanding top 10 spot, running P9 currently, and that's actually coming up from the 22nd starting position. So after 3 laps, really doing a great job, climbing halfway through the field. Let's see what else he's got for the rest of the afternoon.
Kenneth O'Keefe now in that P9 and that 5 ride. In front of him is Angelo Esposito as he looks underneath Angelo here. This is your battle on the track of that 12. He looks there, not quite there, but I got a feeling his mirror's going to stay full of the Kenneth O'Keefe machine as they head up the hill and work their way towards the downward S's. But this is your battle on the track. The rest of the field is pretty single file. Behind Kenneth O'Keefe is Samuel Lupien, all over his bumper now. So these 3 cars all battling for that 8th position.
Everybody lined up single file for the most part. 1 car off track just a bit, but gathers it back up. No harm, no foul. Great job there. Great car control. And you can definitely tell these guys have been putting in some practice laps throughout the week because they're driving some lines that I never would even try to attempt. But that's also coming from a guy that only races super speedways and Bristol. So these guys put on a great show this afternoon. Awesome racing, awesome battles all the way around the track. As you can see, the number 5, Kenneth O'Keefe, trying to pick off another position there from Angelo Esposito.
I feel like his last name or his whole name should be a song.
Esposito, racing here at Laguna Seca. However the rest of the song goes.
Yeah, I don't know. Something about my taco that was a Dorito. Something like that. I'm not too sure.
Yeah.
Keep making sure he stays large enough in his mirror as to keep him on his toes. Oh, Kenneth O'Keefe. Back up front, though, ladies and gentlemen. A little bit of a battle now heating up for fourth, Paul, for the 17 car of Marco Felice. He's doing everything he can to hold off Gavin Sanders, and he starts to gain on Zachary Sharir in the 24, sitting third. Second, and there goes Zachary off track. Zach goes off the track, loses both those positions, falls from third to fifth. Man, just one mistake is all it takes, and you just open the door to fall back two, possibly more. Now Curtis Fox is knocking on the door.
That's it. You could have a perfect race and have one mess up, and all of a sudden you're down 2-3 positions from where you were, and you can't even. A lot of times you can't even jump right back into it because you got to gather your thoughts and catch your breath real quick and get right back up on the wheel. Taking a look right now at Zachary Shearer in the 24 ride, looking at the bottom left of your screen, he's going to be the pink dot, and you can see that green number 19 is the leader, so he's definitely got some ground to make up in order to win this race.
Paul, a lot of this is about rhythm, and when you do something that knocks you out of your rhythm, it's not easy to get right back into it right away. It's not like a baseball pitcher that pitches a home run pitch and the next batter up, he's able to forget it. It's not like that, especially when you're turning left and right, and you're seeing that here, where Zach just, that one bobble has just cost him so much track time. He lost that position to Curtis Fox, and now right back on his bumper is Daryl Timmers. So it just shows how much concentration this takes. The mental battle that this is compared to just the physical battle.
Yeah, you're exactly right. We're taking a look right now at Daryl Timmers from the chopper view, and a really good opportunity to see just how these cars handle the corners. You can see they almost slide the back tires through. The front tires, it almost looks like these cars may very well be front-wheel drive, because you can see they really grip as they start into the corner, but as you're coming out of the corner, the back end kind of shifts around just a little bit, really enabling these drivers to close in on whomever's in front of them.
If you're watching on YouTube, do us a little favor. That little button there on your little machine that's in your hand, that little 7-inch computer, hit that subscribe button for us. If you're watching on Twitch, hit that little button there. Let's go ahead and subscribe if you're a race fan. If you like what you see and you hear. If you like seeing cars turn left and right. If you like seeing super speedway, short track racing, you're at the right place. Hit that little subscribe button. And feel free to chat to us in the chat logs. We do respond. We do interact with our viewers, and if you are watching this and you run a league on iRacing and you're like, hey, I want these guys to go ahead and broadcast for me, check us out at Bedane Racing on Facebook. Bedane Racing on Facebook. Send us a quick little message, and we'll definitely make this happen for you. But up front, Paul, battle for third is heating up with the 17 of Marco Felice. All over his bumper now is Gavin Sanders in that 25 as Gavin looks low on him and almost there, but not quite yet. Got on the binders. Going to try it out again next time around.
Yeah, and we saw in the second heat race earlier on, Gavin Sanders has no problem using that front bumper, that chrome horn, if you will, to get anybody out of his way to make himself move up the field here. Crossing the line, 6 down, and if my math is right, 6 plus 7, maybe 8 laps to go. Just about 11 minutes of racing on track right now, but you're looking at the battle for third place. Marco Felice has it. Gavin Sanders wants it. All over the back bumper, Gavin Sanders is to Marco Felice.
Marco now starting to widen his lead for that third position just a little bit as they go hard down into the final left-hander of the lap. Again, Gavin Sanders has been really good there all day, and that has not changed as he was able to shorten that gap now. I'd say about 3 car lengths now. It's about 2 and almost to the bumper now of Marco Felice going into the left-hander here in the turn 1. Long left-hander. We've seen him run really well through there throughout the night, so great job. And up front, Patrick Woodstoth still your leader by a mile. Then Marcelo Panicia is 22nd. He's actually in between Woods Toth and Andrew Waring, who is in the second position in that Budweiser Kia Optima. Oh, and the battle for third really heating up here, Paul. The 17 and the 25. That's Gavin Sanders in the 25. Trying to go left, trying to go right. Marco keeps slamming the door, and creeping into that photo is the Oreo ride of Curtis Fox in the 10. But that battle for third, Paul, keep the camera there. That's where it's going to be.
Yeah, we've been riding on board with the number 25, Gavin Sanders, for about a lap, and he's doing a really good job. And like I had mentioned a few minutes earlier, not afraid to use that bumper. Every single turn he has let that 17 machine, the blue and yellow machine, letting him know he's there. Really beating the snot out of that back bumper, and you can see definitely trying to kind of cut the corners a little bit, see if he can gain that real estate and get around the number 17 for that podium finish.
Being the, and there he goes into the final left-hander of the lap. Can he get his nose there? No! Marco slams the door on him again. Lap after lap after lap, we see Gavin close that gap in that corner, try to get there, but he can never get his tire there. He never get his nose under there, but can he here as they go into turn one? Hard braking. Looks, oh man, they're three wide. They're three wide, but up back to two. Gavin, they touch doors. Gavin and Marco side by side through turn one. Man, finally gives him the chrome horn going through turn two. That right-hander, Gavin Sanders, to third place.
Business is about to pick up as that battle for third lasted so long it turned it from a two-man dance to about 5 or 6 cars under a blanket single file right now. About 5, 6, 7 laps to go here. The race is definitely not over. As you can see, the Oreo machine really trying to outbrake the driver in front of him, doing a great job to try and see what all he can get here in the last couple minutes of racing.
Felice says, Felice, they make contact. The Oreo machine wrecks Felice. Oh, man, Marco goes around. He was showing some aggression to Gavin Sanders, trying all he could to get back in that third position, but now he gets sent around, just punted by Curtis Fox. And out of the couple races that we've called, Paul, Curtis Fox knows how to find his way into the drama, and nonetheless, he did so again, and that allowed Samuel Lupien to get around both of them, as well as Zachary Schreier and Daryl Timmers.
Hard racing as these guys get on through here. Had a couple of quick questions in the YouTube chat. Somebody asked, a couple of fans actually asked, what the heck happened to the number 16, Logan Paxa? Well, short answer is, not sure, but you take a look at him, he is still on track right now. Second to last car on the lead lap, currently running in the 20th position. Tough break after starting in third rather.
Paul, he went off track early in the race, unfortunately, kind of got stuck. And after that, he's just been trying to bounce back. He's in that 16 machine. He's in 20th place. Went off track in the beginning, and he's doing all he can to try to catch these guys in front of him. But pretty big gap, though, in between him and the rest of the field. They're already down there getting ready to go into the final corner of the lap, and he's just starting those S's. So not a good race for Logan. Tough break, but also check up on Kenneth O'Keefe. We were talking about him earlier. He actually has fallen back as well. He was up to 8th, as much as 8th, but looks like he's sitting about 12th right now. So some familiar names we're used to seeing up front, not having as good of the day as typical, but that battle for third is heating up again, Paul. The 25 of Gavin Sanders now has Daryl Timmers all in his mirror. Then it's Zachary Schreier, and then Samuel Lupin in the 2, and then Curtis Fox. So 7th through 3rd, basically, all bumper to bumper.
7th through 3rd, you can see the watermelon looking ride. The red and green machine heads on down, really hard braking, gets around, gains a position there. I believe that's the number 2 car of Lupin. And it is. Gets around Zachary Shearer for the 5th position.
Up front, Paul, the 21 and the 19. We have a battle for the lead. We've seen Andrew Waring do this time and time again. He abides his time, and he gains on the leader little by little. We have a battle for the lead here. Andrew Waring got away from all of that drama in the second heat, the drama in this feature, to now battle with Patrick Woods-Toth, who has led every single lap he's been a part of today, right on his bumper here.
We've seen the bumpers used before, and it's getting go time. 6 laps to go, 5 minutes of racing left to go here on at Laguna Seca here for the Canadian KartingNews.com series. And man, oh man, these guys are getting ready to put on a show, as they have been doing all afternoon. Heading up the hill, getting ready to take that left-hand turn, shooting on down the hill through the S's, and you can see Andrew Waring is there, all over the back bumper, beating up Patrick Woods-Toth. Really the first time we've seen any kind of challenge to Patrick Woods, as he's throughout the first heat race, he was able to put down about an 8-second lead. Definitely not an 8-second lead. It looks like he's got about 8 inches between him and the second-place car.
As we go in car with the 21, you kind of get a cockpit view of what Andrew Waring is seeing as Andrew Waring wears out the back bumper of Woods-Toth. Woods-Toth hasn't needed a bumper all morning, or a mirror all morning, but now he needs to. It's Andrew Waring. He leans on the right side of him. He's going to be on the outside here going down into turn 1. He's going to try to give him a little slingshot, give him a little bit of bump, tries to work under him, cannot get there. The next corner will be a right-hander, but just the imperfect timing there of Andrew Waring puts a little bit of a gap in between these guys. Man, what a battle for the lead here with less than 4 minutes to go.
Really solid on that wheel, left and right, all the way around this racetrack. Taking a look right now, you can see on that track map down on the bottom, kind of gives you an idea where these guys are, as making that hard left turn, coming up on a straightaway. Really going to try and beat the bumper off of Patrick Woods in that number 19 ride, see if he can get around him. He's going to try and get around him clean, but if not, you can bet he's definitely going to go up there and give him a little bit of a push. So you can see right at the top, the crest of the hill there seems to be a lap car. Got to wonder if that's going to play a factor into the finish of this race.
For the most part, these guys are very respectful to each other. I can see that lap car getting out of the way as Andrew Waring trying to make Patrick Woods-Toth get out of his way.
Speaking of getting out of the way, doing a great job, really.
No doubt in my mind right now, Paul.
Pushed him all the way down the hill.
He's the faster car here, Paul, no doubt. But it's one thing to catch him, it's another thing to pass him. As here we go, down into that treacherous, hard-braking left-hander. Who will get the benefit here? Bumper to bumper as he looks low. Can Andrew get there? No, he cannot. Less than 2 minutes remaining. I'm sorry, about 2.5 minutes remaining.
Heading down in the turn number 1, these guys just getting down side by side in the hairpin. Advantage is going to go to the inside. Possibly. You can see the inside. Nope, definitely inside. But the Patrick Woods just doing a great job. He's trying to set him up
here, Paul. He's trying. To get sideways. Andrew gets sideways, and he's able to save it. Oh, boy, that was a big scare there for Andrew Waring. He got really loose.
Did he get sideways, or did he try to widen that turn just a little bit? Because it almost looks like he wanted to push Patrick Woods out of the way. But, man, great save, great car control there from Andrew Waring. We got a couple of laps left here. These guys are just putting on a clinic up here up front. And, again, like we said, first time Patrick Woods-Toth has really gotten challenged for the lead.
Full drift mode there, Paul. Full drift mode he went into. And didn't miss a beat. Andrew Waring is beating on that bumper. Now, this might be the last time they get an opportunity to go into this left-hander that will lead down into the front stretch. If he's close enough, does he give him the bumper? We've seen Andrew Waring bump and bang all throughout that last heat race. If he needs to, is he going to lay the bumper here to Woods-Toth?
Short answer, yes, absolutely. You can see he's all over the back bumper, almost pushing him all the way around the racetrack. Definitely feels he's got a little bit of a faster race car, a little bit more tires that he saved up. You can see he's going to try and look outside, set him up for the inside pass, doesn't quite get there. And you can see that lap car pulling down on the left-hand side. Commendable move, getting on out of the way. Says, you know what, you guys are leading this race, you're putting on a show. Go ahead and finish it up strong. I'm just going to be back here in last. But heading on down into turn number 1, the hairpin again. 21 Andrew Waring backs up just a bit. He's going to try and see where Patrick Woods is strong and see if he can get around him. Trying to get that same real estate, get the 2 cars in the same spot at the same time. Doesn't necessarily work, so he's going to try and use one of these corners as a pick, see if he can't get him on the inside.
This time they're both pretty smooth through there, but Patrick Woods-Toth is putting down a little bit faster of a lap than what Andrew Waring is. This first half of this lap, it's been Patrick Woods-Toth in the driver's seat, but there's Andrew just closing up on the bumper there of Woods-Toth. That gap that he was able to create is now gone. We're coming 10 seconds left in this race. This will be the last lap or next. I'm not exactly sure. These drivers will be treating this one, though, like it is the last lap. I'm absolutely sure of that, Paul.
These guys have been racing like it was the last lap for about 15 laps. These guys are putting on a great show so far. Heading on down. This is really where the number 21 is strong. Those downhill
He's
S's.
there, Paul. Oh, man, he breaks to make sure he didn't get into him. Andrew Waring doing everything he can to pass Woods Toth clean.
Doing everything he can. He tried to get on inside, and the door just got slammed one more time. Going to see what these guys have.
He's there! It's the crossover move by Toth! Oh man, here, who's it gonna be? Who is it gonna be at the line? Patrick Woods Toth. Is that it, or we keep going? This might be the last lap here, ladies and gentlemen. What we are on now is the last lap, side by side in the one. They lean onto each other through the horseshoe. The advantage going to the inside of Patrick Toth. Can Andrew hold it on the outside? He cannot. He pushes him into the sand. He's trying to get the grip, but he cannot. Patrick Woods Toth with a huge advantage now.
Pretty much sealed the deal for Patrick Woods Toth in that corner, sending the 81, or the 21 rather, trying to get everything he can. He just tried to push the back bumper and sent him on down into the dirt. You can see he's closing in just a little bit here, coming in the one of the straightaways, but I don't think he's going to have enough time. The timer has expired, which put 2 laps to go on the board. I don't think that's going to be enough time for Andrew Waring. He's going to be able to get to the back bumper of Patrick Woods Toth. I don't think he's got enough time to pass him.
Paul, he may not have the time to pass him, but he has the bumper if need be. You don't have to be that close to use that bumper at certain parts of this track, including that last left-hander. As these guys come down, the downhill S's here on this track. That gap has closed up tremendously. 2 corners.
Getting ready to get right back on the back bumper where he's been almost the entire feature race here. They're coming up to this checkered flag, the last left-hand turn. Heading on down the front stretch. Back bumper is full of Andrew Waring all over the back bumper.
Contact all the way through there, Paul. Who's going to get it? Patrick Woods Toth will get the win. Andrew Waring right there on his bumper. Man, oh man, oh man. What a battle for these two. And at the end, Andrew Waring sends Patrick Woods Toth packing.
Shoots him on down into the beach, says, you know what? Good race. You go play in the sand. Awesome, awesome race. Great. Congratulations to Patrick Woods Toth. Andrew Waring finishing out second. Daryl Timmons moving on up to third. Gavin Sanders strong in the heat race. He finishes fourth. Zachary Shearer finishes fifth. Curtis Fox sixth. Samuel Lupian seventh. Enrico Minotti finishes eighth. Marco Felice, 9th. Zachary Vanier, 10th. Kenneth O'Keefe in the 5-car. Saw him struggle early on today. He finishes 11th. Angelo Esposito finishes 12th, one position worse than where he started in 11th. The 382 finishes 13th. Sean McPhee, 14th. Corey McLeod finishes 15th. Tim Hooton, 16th. Logan Paxa, saw him, a couple of fans in the YouTube chat there. He finishes 17th after starting third, so tough break. Colin Baxter, 18th. Our buddy Greg in a 15, he finishes 19th. Jesse Burnett rounds out the top 20. Marcelo Pancia, Rafael Forcier, Brody Clark, and Ernie Ingrata closes out the field. Anthony Simone finishing 25th as well. So great road race here at Laguna Seca. Fantastic race.
Pack on up, Paul.
Yeah, we got to pack on up. We got to coil all the cables up here. Head on over to Tim's Corner Motorsports. So if you want to check out some more racing, we're getting ready to race the Petty Raceway iRacing League Series. So head on back over to our YouTube page. Check us out on Facebook. We're going to get everything reset, get a new stream going, and do a little bit more racing. So thanks so much for coming out. Thank you guys so much. Hey, make sure you hit that subscribe button and check out our website, vidane.net. We will catch you guys here shortly as we're getting ready to set up for Tim's Corner Motorsports. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back.